that. And so if I am so focused on staying on the line, I can't fulfill my assignment. But my God is big enough to handle my fault, my strokes, screw-ups, my mess-ups, because he's already prepared for what I might do. He knows what I'm going to do before I do it, and he already made preparation for me before I get there. What follows darkness is light. That darkness is the indicator that light is getting ready to shine. So there it is in Genesis, when darkness was upon the face of the deep, and God in the spirit form moved upon the face of the waters, and then God said, let there be. Because darkness precedes the light. Are you understanding what I'm saying? But he needs the darkness there so that God can move upon the face of the deep, so that the shift can take place. Listen, look at your neighbor and tell your neighbor that shift take place in the darkness. Oh God, y'all didn't hear what I just said. Everybody's not going to see the shift that's happening. They see the chaos, but they don't see the shift. They see all the craziness going on in your life, but they don't understand that underneath the darkness, God is moving in secret. He's moving in quiet. He's moving in the hidden places. He's moving in the cracks and the corners and the crevices. He's moving in places that you cannot see. And when the light comes, they're going to see a new order. Afraid to dream, afraid to imagine. But I'm here to tell you that you are an infinite, limitless, boundless being. Are you willing to do what is necessary to have what you desire?
Thank you for joining us. Please take a moment and like the Facebook page. Subscribe to the YouTube page and hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when we go live. If you are finding value in these enrichment sessions, please consider supporting this page financially. Your donations allow us to continue to provide spiritual enlightenment, self-exploration, and kingdom knowledge. Also, consider becoming a partner because partnerships have this privilege. As a partner, you'll be able to attend our annual Partners Only Summer Summit, join us for our 6 a.m. virtual daily guided meditation sessions, weekly advanced empowerment sessions, regular prophetic insights and instructions, 30% discount on all Emerge books and merchandise, and a custom Emerge t-shirt. You'll also gain full access to the private Emerge Movement community page as well as group chats. Once again, thank you for watching.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Isaac J. Miles Sr., and I am so glad that you are here in the place at this time. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for participating. Thank you for those of you who are here. I missed you guys, man. I thought I would see some of you on Wednesday night, but things happen. I understand. But I'm glad to see those of you who are here with me on tonight. Tell me how your day has been going, how things have been happening for you, while you're doing that and saying hello in the comments. Please make sure that you like, share, tag, and comment, engage with this post and with this live so that we're able to get, the more engagement we get, the more visible we become across every platform. So please make sure that you are engaging and that you are liking and sharing and tagging and all of the things, to try and help grow the audience and to get more people involved and tuning in to our empowerment sessions. We are great, yeah, and had a wonderful day. Wonderful, awesome. Sharon says she's awesome. And Toya and Sam have had a wonderful day today. That's great to hear. That is absolutely fantastic to hear. You should have been feeling a real powerful surge of energy today. You should have felt like you were on your P's and Q's all day today. Very focused, very determined, that creative juice flowing through you, that energy of just wanting to do and accomplish and run through troops and leap over walls. You should have felt a real intensity of energy and anointing throughout the day. Jamie said she had a busy day with her grandson. I'm telling you right now, those little kids will keep you busy. They sure will. They absolutely will. But they're a delight to have around. See, yeah, good. Sharon says, big time, got so much done. Toya says, yes. So I'm saying you should have been feeling that. Has anybody heard from Kimoria? She's been kind of MIA lately. Anybody heard from her? Oh, no, Sam better sit down somewhere. Tell me some running. You might have felt like running, but you better not be out there trying to run right now, bro. No. We're not doing that. Yeah, I'm a little concerned. I'm a bit concerned. Sharon says she's been working a lot. That's good. Is that just working your secular job or working your business, working your ministry, your coaching service? You got so many things going on, Sharon. So, you know, you are an entrepreneur. Oh, that's good tea. And Jamie, how is Miss Gloria doing? Haven't seen or heard from her in a minute either. I'm going to call her because I just want to hear her voice and check in and see how she's doing. Please let her know that I love her and I'm thinking about her always. I'm going to give her a call so that we can have a nice chat. I miss her. Oh, she's at work. Okay. Oh, she's working a lot. Well, bless the Lord. I know she was looking for work, so I'm glad that she was able to find it and that she is out working hard. That's good. That's great. I'm glad to hear that. Glad to hear that. Glad to hear that. I hope you guys have been paying attention to what's happening in the news. Have you been watching? You saw where these ICE agents murdered a woman in Minnesota. I miss her too. I do. But yeah, they murdered this young woman in Minnesota, and it's funny how, you know, the biasness, because the media treats this like she is the first and most important person that's been murdered by ICE, but ICE has murdered several people since this whole tyrannical movement has taken place. And more recently, a young black man was murdered by ICE, but you don't hear his name being mentioned at all. Mr. Porter lost his life, left behind children, a family. but we don't hear anyone saying anything about him. Okay, I get that. Tell her that I am happy for her and I am supporting what she's doing. Stay focused, keep working, go at it. Have no problem with that whatsoever. But yes, have you been paying attention to what's happening? That everything, listen to me, everything that is happening, everything that is occurring in the world, not just in the United States, although the United States is really showing its behind with that clown of a person that we have as the president of the United States and all of his monkeys that are working around him. America is definitely showing its butt. But what's going on with China and Russia, what's going on in the European Union, and what's going on with Ukraine, what's happening also in Australia, and then in North Korea as well. And most importantly, and I've been telling you guys this since the end of last year and the beginning of this year, probably back in September, I started saying, keep your eyes on the continent of Africa. Are you paying attention to what's unfolding? There is a reason that Trump decided that he was going to go and bomb Nigeria. And it wasn't because they were persecuting Christians, all that nonsense. That's just nonsense. Okay? But he and those who are around him are fully aware of the transitional uprising that is taking place across the continent. And he thought that this might quell things, but in fact, all it has done is ignite the fire even more. And now even more countries within the continent are now starting to realize that they need to collectively come together, and that if they were to pool their resources and create a united Africa, they could be and would be one of the strongest economies in the world, surpassing the United States. Okay? Only rival would be China, because the continent itself is rich with resources that unfortunately through the colonization of colonialism from the French, from the United States, from the Germans, and everyone that could has taken advantage of the different leaders in all of the nation states throughout the continent of Africa. Now, there have been some corrupt leaders in some of those nations as well, but the overriding factor has been that they have always tried to keep all of the nations within Africa separate from each other, at war with each other, creating fractures rather, and little fights and territorial disputes among the leaders, so that if they could keep them divided, then they could keep them under control and continue to manipulate them for their resources. Cobalt, gold, silver, diamonds, and not to mention minerals and oil, all throughout the continent. It is one of the richest areas in the entire world. And if all of the leaders of Africa were to unite and create one united Africa, and there's no limit to what they could accomplish and do. Absolutely no limit. And it's starting to happen. It's starting to happen. Curate has been the one who is leading the way, but trust me, he is not the only one. And they are starting to wake up and realize that they don't need all of these European countries and Western countries to subsidize them. In fact, if they take control of their own resources and begin to operate in the same manner that these other countries that have colonized there were operating, then they would enrich themselves, because every other country in the world would have to bow before Africa, before some African leader. I'm telling you. That's a fact. And Africa is rising. Okay, from South Africa all the way up to Egypt, Africa is rising. From Kenya to Morocco, from Benin to Ghana, Africa is rising. Tanzania, Zimbabwe, Africa is rising. I'm telling you. Okay, it's an exciting time. So if you have been watching and paying attention to world affairs and everything that's going on, and not allowing yourself to get distracted by the nonsense, like, these preachers falling out over a dress that another preacher's wife wore, it's like, who the hell cares? And why is that anybody's business other than that couple? Yet the whole internet is in the uproar. They know how to distract us. Boy, I tell you the truth. They just throw out some red meat and we go chasing behind it, chasing rabbits all up and down the aisles and everywhere else. And we get all distracted away from what's really important, sitting up worried and arguing about a freaking dress. How asinine and stupid is that? Okay? But if you can peel yourself away from that kind of nonsense and start to really pay attention to what's happening in this country and in the world around us, you see what I prophesied to you guys way back in, I think it was August, beginning in August of last year, but intensifying over as the months began to draw closer to the end of the year. And I began to tell you about what was going to unfold and what is going to happen. And we are just now at the beginning of it. We're at the start of it. And things are going to get worse before they get better. They are going to get better, but things are going to get much worse before they get better. Things are not falling apart, they are falling into place. And the chess pieces on the board are being moved around. And there's a dynamic global paradigm shift that is taking place. And so the mode of operation for the entirety of the globe, for all of humanity, is beginning to shift. So as a result of that, of course, there's an upheaval and an uproar. Of course, you're going to see all kinds of conflicts taking place. I wasn't a bit surprised about their president deciding that he would, attack Venezuela, and planning now to attack other countries as well. It falls into the pattern. It falls into place. It is exactly the kind of thing that we can expect to take place in order for the shift to be completely fulfilled. Every person on the planet is going to and is experiencing and feeling the effect of the shift. And that does not always feel good. As a matter of fact, in most cases, it feels horrible. It feels chaotic. It feels crazy. It feels out of control. It feels like everything is falling apart and crumbling and becoming, just a mess. But out of the ashes, out of the mess, out of the chaos and confusion, there's going to emerge a new heaven and a new earth. Woo! After the flame and the fire has renovated the face of the earth, out of that fire will come a new heaven and a new earth. I know I'm using metaphoric language, but you understand exactly what I'm saying to you. that out of the flame and the fire, out of the chaos, the confusion, out of the tyranny and the wannabe dictators, there's going to emerge a higher consciousness, a more aware civilization. And as a result of that, a new earth, a new way of operating and connecting and being and perceiving and functioning as a united, interlinked society. Okay? I'm telling you. I am telling you. You watch. Keep your eye on what is yet to unfold. We've got another pandemic that's coming. I think I've already told you that and told you what I saw. Did I share that with you guys about another pandemic? I think I did. Y'all talk to me in the comments. I'm pretty sure I did. I think I shared it with you right after I saw it and received it. Somebody remind me in the comments. Did I share that with you? I'm looking at the comments now. I'm pretty sure I did. Sharon says she believes so. So you're not sure? Oh, Toya said, yeah, well, if my scribe said I did, then I know I did. I know I did. Okay. Who's knocking at my door? Somebody just knocked at my door. I don't know who that was. I think I might need to go and find out, though. What y'all think? Y'all give me a second. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. You know, my mind sometimes, I tell you, that was the delivery person. I forgot I ordered some fish from the fresh market here so that I could prepare it, and they just delivered it. I completely forgot about that. I'm like, who knocking at my door? Oh, Lord have mercy. I completely forgot. Yeah, I ordered some cod. I'm gonna make some cod. I got this great recipe in mind that I came up with that I think is gonna be delicious. But anyway, that's a whole nother conversation. That's a whole nother conversation. All right. But okay, Jamie, you didn't hear it. Well, in case I didn't say it. Toya says I did, and if she says I did, I'm pretty sure I did. But in case I didn't share it with you, and even if I did, I'm going to share again, there is another pandemic coming. There is another global pandemic that is going to emerge this year. Okay, and I'm seeing it spread quickly, and that it's not going to be one that is going to initiate in some other country and be transported here. It's going to initiate here, and we're going to be the progenitors. We're going to be the ones who are infecting the rest of the globe because of some of the policies that we are putting in place by our new Health and Human Services Director, that is going to open the door for the emergence of a new strain of a virus that is going to be quite intense, deadly, powerful, and it is going to spread, very contagious, and it's going to spread very quickly. Very, very quickly. It's coming. And unfortunately, the United States is ill prepared to respond. It is coming. As a matter of fact, other countries will respond quicker and better to what occurs than the United States will. And that people, other global leaders, have already begun to shift their perspective and are no longer looking to the United States for leadership. They are beginning to view the United States as a tyrannical government headed by a despot, by a wannabe dictator. And so they're no longer looking to the United States for leadership or for it being, as Ronald Reagan described it, a shining city sitting on a hill. Not anymore. Not anymore. Okay? The global perception of the United States now is one of chaos, embarrassment, a shame, and fear, because they don't know what this crazy person in office is going to do next. But anyway, as a result of that, when this pandemic comes up, they're going to spend the first 3 to 4 months denying that there is a pandemic, denying that there is a problem. And then when they're finally forced to have to admit that there is, because of the sheer number of people getting sick and dying, their response is going to be ineffective. And we're going to experience the largest number of casualties of all the other countries in the world, simply because of the ineptitude of those who are in supposed leadership. I'm telling you. And I know I told you this. I know I told you that there is going to come a time, and I still don't have an exact date, but I know that it's coming, that you need to be prepared to either have an exit plan or a survival plan. Listen to what I'm telling you. You need an exit plan or a survival plan. You need an exit plan, if you are in a position to do so, to be able to leave this country at a moment's notice and stay gone for an extended period of time. To be able to sustain yourself in whatever other country that you decide to go to be able to sustain yourself financially, economically, socially, spiritually, for a period of time, because it is going to be very dangerous to remain, for people of color to remain in this country. And for those who are not in a position to be able to go and stay gone for an extended period of time, you need a survival plan. You need to be networking now and building community now with responsible people that you can really trust and enter into agreement and covenant with. You need to learn, if you don't know how to garden and grow food and farm, you need to start learning those basic skills. So if you can at least grow vegetables, you need to be in a position to be able to do that and bring back the barter system. Y'all remember bartering? Well, some of you might be old enough to remember the barter system where, people would exchange their goods and services to another person for their goods and services, because the money was scarce. And it was like, okay, well, I've got grain and wheat, and you've got cattle, so I'll exchange grain for meat, and you give me I'll give you grain, you give me meat, and you give me meat, I'll give you grain. That's what the kind of bartering and covenant relationship was built upon. You need to be prepared. Yes, extended stays. Okay? All countries are not allowing Americans in. I was considering Thailand, but my friend says that they are making people leave. That's true. That's true. Okay, now as quiet as it's kept, Sharon, they are loudly saying we're not allowing Americans to come and stay. They are quietly saying it's just white Americans that we don't want to come stay. They're welcoming us. They are welcoming us. But trust me, they're welcoming us. Okay? So, yeah, definitely look at, some of the information that's available. Do your investigation before you decide on where you might want to exit to. And it doesn't have to be some extraordinary place. I mean, if you want to just cross the border into Canada, that's easy. Canada is very, very easy and very welcoming. Although right now, America is in such a state that a lot of countries are, starting to be leery about allowing Americans to come. But not black Americans, not people of color, but specifically black people. But the one place you are always welcome is in the continent of Africa. Trust me when I tell you, they are waiting for you to come. Any nation, doesn't matter. They are waiting to welcome you home. But I'm telling you, you need to be prepared. Get your passport, get your vital statistics and other documents of that sort. Have hard copies of all of that. Have some cash on hand so that your go bag is packed so that if you need to get up and go immediately, you don't have to hesitate. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to start running around trying to pull things together. You are able to get up and go. Okay? And yes, you can get dual citizenship. Especially like in some of the African countries like Ghana, like Nigeria, like Benin, Sierra Leone, Senegal. Tanzania. And you can apply. I would suggest, Sharon asked, how much cash do you suggest? I think you should try and keep at least $10,000 to $20,000 on hand. Just minimum. If you can do more, do more. But at least $10,000 to $20,000 cash on hand. That's what I would do. And get copies of all of your important documents. From bank records to social security cards to, medical records. Okay. Titles to your property. The deeds. If you own it outright. And if you were doing what I told you to do during the hustle phase, you paid down your debt and you have a lot of space now to be able to function, maneuver, and operate because you're not under the weight of all of that debt that you had before. That's if you listened and you followed the instructions that I gave you. Then right now, as we have stepped into the heave phase, then you are prepared and you got movement, man. You got room to just stretch and move and make quality decisions without being in a strain because you've positioned yourself financially where you're no longer under that kind of pressure and stress. Now, if you didn't do what I told you to do, then, well, you're probably still in the same state that you were in before, and you do feel those pressures, and things are very tight for you. But it's not too late for you to get your house in order. Get your financial house in order. How many times have I said that? And I said it over and over and over and over and over again during that hustle phase. I kept saying, get your finances in order. Get your finances in order. Get your finances in order. Do as many jobs as you need to do. Put in extra hours building out your business. Create as many income streams as you can, because you need to start paying down your debt. How many times did I say it? How many times did I say it? Every time I came on the air, I was saying it. Some of you were getting sick of me saying it. But I bet you ain't sick of me now. Okay? That's good. So it says our go bag has been packed. Medical records on the jump drive. Both passports have been updated. We have been listening and doing the necessary work. That's good. That's important. I'm telling you. And when that time comes, you're going to thank me. You're going to be glad you listened and did what I told you. I'm in the process of creating one more revenue stream right now that I hopefully will have finalized by the end of February. A really good stream, so that I'm more mobile and able to go as I please and still be generating a flow of income from that particular source. That's what's ideal. That's what you want to try and establish. You want to get to the place where you are completely mobile, that you're not pinned down because of a job, pinned down because of, all of this debt that you're under the pressure of. You want to be in a position where you can make moves and do so freely without having the stress and without having to feel pressured about anything. Okay? If I read to you what somebody just texted me, one of y'all on here just texted me, I tell you what. But I'm telling you want to be prepared. You want to be ready. Just as sure as I'm sitting here, it's coming. Okay? It's coming. Things are going to get a lot worse before they get better. This is not the end of the world. It's not the destruction of all things and everything else like that. None of that nonsense. But this is a reordering, a reshaping, a revamping. This is a paradigm shift. And it's not as all hunky-dory, glory, glory, hallelujah as church folk will try and make you think. Because it's basically that everything is getting shifted and turned over and flipped upside down on its head so that a new earth, a new heaven and a new earth can emerge. Which means that the old heaven and earth has to pass away. That old mindset, old way of thinking, old ways of operating, old patterns have to pass away. Do you know how dramatic and traumatic that is for just one person? Now imagine all of humanity going through it at the same time. You know how traumatic and difficult it is just for you to deal with that kind of an upheaval in your life. Now imagine an entire civilization, the global community, all experiencing it at the same time in different ways and in different places. Imagine that. Okay? So of course it feels chaotic and crazy because it looks that way. It feels that way. It absolutely does. But I'm telling you from an apostolic point of view, things are not crumbling for the sake of crumbling. They are being shifted out of the way so that a new structure, a new system, a new pattern and mode of operation can take shape and begin to flow throughout the global world, this entire world, throughout the global community. Mankind is about to take a giant leap forward. Listen to what I just said. Mankind is about to take a giant leap. Remember, I talked to you guys about the overlapping periods between Laodicea and Philadelphia? Y'all remember that? I know I told you that because I recall sitting here and talking to you guys about that, drawing those two texts from the Bible and explaining what they signify. Okay, because the book of Revelation is not a literal book. It is a book of signs, symbols, and patterns. Okay, metaphors. And I began to explain when he was talking about these two different, the text calls them churches, but they are two different perspectives and two different parts of society. Those multitudes who are under the Laodicean mindset, and remember I told you that what made Laodicea, what was the worst thing about the Laodiceans was not that they were lukewarm, not that they were not hot or cold, it was their utter blindness to their true state. It wasn't the lukewarmness that was the biggest issue. It was the fact that he says, you think that you got it all together. You really believe that you are rich and increase with goods. You believe that you are fine because you got money in your pocket and things seem to be going well. You think everything is going well. And he says, and you don't know, you do not realize that you are naked and blind and broken, that you're completely disconnected. And there is a pocket of society, of humanity, that will remain in a Laodicean state where they will think all of us, those who are enlightened, are the crazy ones. And will say, oh, they're crazy. Here's the way to be. Here's the life to live. And they will really think that they have it all together and be completely oblivious to just how messed up they are. And because of that blindness, that mental, emotional blindness, they will continue to go further and further down that path and that road that will lead to ultimate destruction for them and their posterity. Not the whole world, just that group. Oh, please forgive me. I don't know why I got the yawns going on. I'm not tired. Okay. Matter of fact, hold on. I'm gonna. Okay. I want to read it to you. Listen to what he says. And unto the angel of the church of Laodiceans, write, these things says the Amen. That's the confirmation. Okay? The end of all things. The faithful and true witness, the beginning of the creation of God. The beginning of the creation of God. The beginning of the creation of God. New beginning, new heaven, new earth. Listen to what he says. I know your works. I know your operations, your patterns. I know the way that you've operated, you function, and you move. I know your systems. I know your patterns, he says. That you are neither cold nor hot. I would that you were cold or hot. So then, because you are lukewarm, neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth. Now, most people think that means that, they visualize someone throwing up or spitting. But listen to what he says. Remember, it's metaphorical. He says, because you are neither cold nor hot, I will spew you, that is the Laodiceans, out of my mouth. I will spit you out of my mouth. That metaphorically speaks to God saying, I'm going to stop speaking concerning you. I'm going to close my mouth concerning you. That my word will no longer flow from my lips. Your name. Lord have mercy. Your name. Okay? Your future. Your purpose. Your destiny will no longer flow out of my mouth. And so you will be deaf and dumb. Because God has closed its mouth and stopped speaking concerning it. But that's not the biggest indictment. Here it comes. Listen to what it says. He says, I will spew thee out of my mouth. Because, here it is, verse 17. Because you say, I am rich and increased with goods, and have need of nothing. And here's the indictment. He says, and knowest not. Those three words. And knowest not. He says, you say, you think that you are rich and increased with goods and have need of nothing. You got it all together. Everything is hunky-dory. You've achieved what you wanted to achieve, a modicum of success, and you think, we don't need nobody. We don't need to hear from nobody. Don't nobody need to tell us nothing. We got it together. And he says, and the problem is, you don't know. You are consciously unaware. And knowest not. You are mentally, emotionally blind. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Have you ever met someone who thought they were the smartest person in the room and didn't even realize that they were actually the dumbest? Have you ever met someone who thought that they were the flyest person? The outfit they were wearing was sparkling. It was the stuff, and had no clue that everybody was laughing about them without them looking. That the pointing and looking and stares were not in admiration, but humiliation. But because they are so oblivious, they don't even know it. This is the state that he's talking about. They were in such a delusional state, my God, that they thought that they were rich and increased with goods and had need of nothing, and did not know. Listen to what he says. And knowest not that thou art wretched and miserable and poor and blind and naked. It's one thing to be miserable. It's one thing to be wretched, or poor, blind, and naked. But to be poor, blind, naked, wretched, and not know it is a far worse state to be in. It's one thing to be broken. It's one thing to be in turmoil. It's one thing for you to just be all discombobulated and twisted and turned and tattered and naked. It's quite another for you not to even be aware that that is your state of being. And you think that you're fine. You think that everything's good. Huh? You have convinced yourself that everything is good. And I'm telling you, there is a pocket of society, the United States included, that the way that we have normalized the kind of chaotic, tyrannical, ridiculous, absurd behavior of not only Donald Trump, but of the United States government and all of his cronies that surround him. We have normalized this. Okay? Normalized them kidnapping people off the street, American citizens, without due process, shipping them to other countries or detaining them and holding them indefinitely in secret locations. And we're beginning to normalize it now, like that's just a Tuesday. That's just a Wednesday, like it's just any other day. Oh yeah, well, you know, we know that's how he operates. He started murdering people on boats and just saying that they were drug dealers, they were narco terrorists. No proof, no evidence, just bombing them, killing them. And you know what the general public in the United States did was like, Donald Trump just crazy, child, he crazy. But they normalized it. Nobody stood up to him. To this day, nobody has stood up to him. Nobody has had the guts to stand up and say, by any means necessary, by whatever it takes, we will not allow this to go one day further. Instead, we excuse it away. Are you hearing me? And the media is of no help because they are normalizing the behavior by continuing to sensationalize it through their so-called commentary and different questions where they're not asking the right questions and they're not asking those questions to the right people even. They just bring on both sides of an issue and just say, okay, now let's just have it out and fight over these nonsensical topics while the whole country is falling apart. And you allow them to sit on platforms and have these specious arguments and say these ridiculous things without pushing back and calling them on the carpet and holding them accountable. And Donald Trump is the kind of person, and the people who are pulling his strings, because trust me, he's not smart enough to do most of the stuff that's being done right now. It's the Stephen Millers of the world. Are you hearing what I'm saying? That are the ones who are really pulling the strings in his ear and saying, this is what you need to do next. This is how we handle this. And they're so good and cunning at doing it that they make him think that it's his own idea. And he runs out and takes credit for something that they actually created and put in his mind. He doesn't even know he's being manipulated. He's an old man. He has no clue that he's being manipulated. He really thinks he's coming up with this stuff himself. Okay? This is straight from the book, straight from the prophecy. You think that you are rich and increased with goods and have need of nothing, and you are oblivious. You are blinded. You are delusional into thinking that this is where you are. And you are completely blind to the fact that you are wicked and naked and blind and broken. Are you hearing me? I'm telling you. And I know we're supposed to be talking about setting yourself up for success in 2026. But one of the things that you can do to set yourself up for success is to be consciously aware of what's going on around you. I got in this vein and I'm just going now. So, I got notes here. I got a whole list of things that I was going to talk about, what you can do in order to prepare yourself and set yourself up for success in 2026. And I'll still give you that information. It just may be in another live, or maybe I'll do a pop-up later during the course of this week. But I think that, I went down this road on purpose because I think you need to be consciously aware of what is unfolding. You need to know as I'm speaking to you, and I know I'm being very calm and I'm not doing a whole bunch of he shandala boko sai, but I'm prophesying and I am speaking of those things that are unfolding for the future right in front of you. Some of you have relatives and friends in your life right now who are just in that same Laodicean mindset, that they are in a state of misery and wickedness and weakness and impotency. They're in a state where they are naked and broken, yet they are completely oblivious to how messed up they are. You can't tell them, you can't convince them, you can't show them. You just sit back and do they hear themselves? Do they see their life? Because they're in a Laodicean mindset where they can't see themselves. They have no self-awareness. Zero. None. No self-awareness whatsoever. They think they're the most spiritual, most wise, the smartest, most brilliant person, and don't realize just how dumb and broken they are right now. Some of them are your family members. Some of them are your friends. And no, it's not your job to try and go and convince them of anything other, because you're not going to be able to. The text goes on to say that the remedy for them is that Christ says to them, you need to go buy yourself some eye salves and anoint your eyes so that you can see. In other words, they have to be the one to take the initiative to do what's necessary to break the spell over their life. Nobody else is going to be able to do it. No one else is going to convince them otherwise. They have to come to an understanding and an awareness on their own. They have to take the initial steps and actions to free themselves, to come out of the shadows and out of the darkness, to step away from the blindness and wipe away the scales from their eyes. And you can't feel bound and guilty and responsible for trying to wake them up. Yes, Sharon. Sharon says some of them are doing well financially. And that's part, and I think that partially is what has them blind. Absolutely. Absolutely. Money is a tool. It answers all things. It is energy. It is necessary. But money can also be a deceiver. Wealth, prosperity can be a deceiver. It can deceive you into thinking that you got it all together because you got a few dollars in the bank, a few investments that you can draw on. It can be very deceptive. This is why mapping is so important. Meditation, affirmation, prayer. so that you are constantly turning inward and doing the self-evaluation and analysis so that you're clear about who you are and who you are not, clear about your values, clear about your character, clear about your behavior. Your thought life is clear, pure. That's why it's so important. Because if you just look at the external of what is you've gained monetarily or materially, it can be very deceptive. Are y'all understanding what I'm saying to you? I hope that you're understanding what I'm saying. Okay? We're at a critical stage. We have just crossed the threshold of the halfway point of this global paradigm shift. I told you that it will continue on throughout 2030. And around the end of 2030, the beginning of 2031 is when you'll start to see the emergence and a new order starting to take shape. The old earth has passed away. The former things are done away with. Behold, all things are new. Okay? So these next few years are important. It's important that you stay connected, that you stay grounded, that you stay clear, that you stay consistent, that you are prepared. And if you are attached to this platform, if you're attached to me, then you're going to always know, because I'm going to always make sure that you're aware. I'm going to always have conversations like this with you to make sure you know what's coming. Because remember that the Spirit of God's job, one of its responsibilities, is to not just lead and guide you into all truth, but to show you those things which are to come. Are you hearing what I'm saying? I'm going to start reading this from St. John 15. It says, "Henceforth I call you not servants, for the servant knows not what his Lord does." Every time I'm a servant of God. Well, even your Bible says that Jesus is purported to have said that, look, I'm not calling you servants. You're not servants. You're not servants. What a mighty God we serve. You're not servants. I know I'm messing up church theology right now. You're not servants. Well, Paul said that I'm a servant of the Lord. That's Paul. Who you gonna believe? Who you gonna give more weight to their words? What Paul said or what Jesus said? Just because Paul said it doesn't mean that Paul was right. Paul had his own struggles he was dealing with. He tried to explain that to you in Romans chapter 5, 6, and 7, and 8. 5, 6, 7, and 8. He tried to explain to you. He did everything but come out and just tell you exactly what was going on. But he did get very explicit about the fact that I'm fighting with myself, man. So Paul got a whole bunch of stuff wrong. But Jesus says, from henceforth, from this point forward, you will no longer be called servants because you're not a servant. He says, and here's the major reason why you're not a servant. Because the servant does not know what his master is doing. Did you hear that? So you're not a servant because you're not blind to what God is doing. Everything that God knows, you know. Everything that God does, you're aware of. Let me keep reading what he says. Listen to what he says. Okay? I don't normally do this, but y'all know, I believe me, I've forgotten more about this book than most people will ever know. That's not arrogance, that's just a fact. Okay? He says, henceforth I call you not servants, for the servant doesn't know what his Lord doeth. But I have called you friends, for all things that I have heard of my Father, I have made known to you. Everything that God has said to me, I have said it to you. God's not trying to hide anything from any of us. Let me say that again. God is not trying to hide anything from any of us. Oh, God, there's something God don't want you to know. That's a lie. I don't care who said it to you, they lied. God is not trying to hide anything from any of us. The question is, are we positioned? Are we attuned to the frequency to be able to receive the vibrational message? Because God is constantly speaking and revealing and showing itself. To make sure that we are consciously aware of what God is doing. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Let me keep reading. He says, but I have called you friends, for all the things that I have heard of the Father I have made known unto you. You have not chosen me, but I have chosen you and ordained you that you should go forth and bring forth fruit, and that your fruit should remain. That whatsoever you shall ask of the Father in my name, he shall give it you. Man, I wish I could take the time to really dig into that one little piece right there, because that has been so misunderstood. He did not say that he would give you it. He said that he would give it you. Okay. That if I jump into that, that's going to take me way down the road in another direction. Just take some time and when you get off the live some other time, just think about what's being said. That whatever thing you ask for, I'm not going to give it to you. I'm going to give it you. I'm going to give you to it. Okay. Listen to what he says. I'm going to jump down. He concludes by saying, but when the Comforter is come, whom I will send unto you from the Father, even the Spirit of truth, it shall testify of me, and you shall also bear witness, because you have been with me from the beginning. Are y'all hearing what he said? He says, and these things I've spoken to you, that you should not be offended, that they shall put you out of the synagogues, yea, and the time cometh that whosoever killeth you will think they've done God a service. And these things will they do unto you, because they have not known the Father nor me. But these things I have told you, that when the time shall come, you shall remember what I told them. I told you of them, rather. And these things I said unto you at the beginning, because I was with you. But now I go my way to him that sent me, and none of you asketh me whither thou goest. But because I have said these things unto you, sorrow has filled your heart. Nevertheless, I tell you the truth. It is expedient for you that I go, because if I do not go, the Comforter will not come. But if I depart, I will send the Comforter to you, and when he is come, he will reprove the world of sin and of righteousness and of judgment and of sin, because they believe not in me in the righteousness. But I go to my Father, and you shall see me no more. Listen. Howbeit, when he, the Spirit of truth, is come, he will guide you into all truth. For he shall not speak of himself, but whatsoever he shall hear, that shall he speak, and he will show you things which are to come. Did you hear that? Let me read it again. Let me read that part again. This is John chapter 16. Okay? He says, verse 13, howbeit when he, the Spirit of truth, that is the Spirit of God within you, through you, as you is come, it will lead and guide you into all truth. It will not drag and drive you. It will lead and guide you, not drag and drive you. Lord have mercy. That's a whole nother thing. Okay? The Spirit of God within you is not trying to drag and drive you. It is leading and guiding you. But listen, it says, but that same Spirit will not speak of itself. No. But whatever it has known, whatever it hears, whatever it sees, that is what the Spirit will speak of. From every dimension, every time, every space, from every corner of existence, that will it speak of. And then he goes on to say, and it will show you those things which are to come. That's the job of the Spirit. The Spirit of God that is in you, through you, and as you, has a responsibility to show you those things which are to come, because it has never been the will of God for you to walk into anything blindly, not knowing, unaware. Are you hearing what I'm saying? God's not trying to hide anything from us. Not trying to keep us meandering around in the dark, trying to feel our way down a hallway. No. There's a reason why Jesus turns around and says, as long as I was here, I was the light of the world, but now you are the light of the world. It never meant to be in darkness, because how can you be light and darkness? You are light that casts a shadow. Whee! And you have to integrate the shadow with the light. And he says, so therefore, with that light, that represents knowledge, insight, understanding, revelation. Are you hearing me? So he's like, no, there's nothing hidden from you. If you're not hearing it, you're not seeing it, you're not perceiving it, you're not sensing it, it's because you're not positioning yourself to do so. It's not because the Spirit is failing to do what it's designed to do. The Spirit is designed to make sure that you are always consciously aware of what is to come. For you individually, for those who are connected to you, for the world around you, you are to always be consciously aware of what is unfolding. To be able to look into the future and see it forming. Are you hearing what I'm saying? You have the capacity to know, because the Spirit of God that knows all things is within you, trying to pierce through the dark crevices and corners and cracks of your conscious mind to make you aware. But because you haven't been mapping meditation, affirmation, and prayer, rearranging and redeveloping your neural pathways so that you are able now to think differently, hear differently, and attune yourself to the vibrational frequency or the sound of the voice of God, not some James Earl Jones from the outside, but the still small voice speaking from within that sounds like you, because it is God in you, through you, as you, speaking through dreams and visions and intuitions and sensations. Why? So it can show you those things which are to come. God isn't trying to hide anything from you. God's not trying to sneak up on you. I know church folks that don't let him catch you with your work undone. Like God's some kind of thief just creeping around, trying to sneak up on you so he can catch you. Aha, I got you. No. That's the picture that they painted of God. That is not who God is. God's like, I want you fully aware of everything. That's why I put all of me in all of you. Now I just need you to position yourself to be able to know that you know what you know. Man, are y'all hearing me? I'm preaching better than y'all saying amen. I'm telling you. Woo! Yeah, thief in the night, sneaky God. Sharon said a sneaky God. Burglar. We talk about God like God is a burglar, man. Breaking into your house. Come when you're unaware. Not so. And I know that upsets some of your, religious sensibilities because it's like, no, but the Bible said, yeah, but the Bible says a whole lot of stuff that's not true. Oh, did I say that? I sure did. Study the letters of Paul side by side with the writings that are attributed to Jesus. The words that are attributed to Jesus, not writings, because he didn't write any of it, but the words that are attributed to Jesus. And you see where Paul is contradicted by Jesus in several places. Because Paul was still spreading some of his indoctrination that he had received while growing up as a part of the Roman culture and serving on the Sanhedrin Council. So he was very legalistic, very dogmatic, very misogynistic. And I believe a closeted homosexual, so he was struggling with those internal struggles as well. And so he put forth a whole lot of dogma and doctrine that completely contradicts what Jesus said. Or at least was purported that Jesus said. What's written in the gospel, what's written in red, Jesus said. They used to tell us when I was a kid. It's written in red, Jesus said. Okay? But Jesus never said that he was going to come like no thief in no night. He says, no, I'm going to make sure that you know what is to come. There's nothing that the Spirit is going to ever know and ever receive that it won't share with you. We just got through reading it. It will tell you everything that is heard, everything that is seen, everything that it knows. And show you those things which are to come. So if you're still being shocked and surprised by a whole bunch of stuff, that tells you right there that you're not in full alignment. And the time that we are in right now, especially now at the beginning of 2026, is a time of alignment, enlightenment and alignment. Let me say that again, enlightenment and alignment, becoming more consciously aware and becoming more spiritually in tune. Enlightenment and alignment. Somebody put that in the comments for me. That you need to focus at the beginning of this year on enlightenment and alignment. Enlightenment and alignment. I'm telling you, that's where your focus needs to be right now. And if you've been listening and a part of this platform and following along with me, then you're already there. You're already there. Enlightenment and alignment. You're already there. Because we've been walking down this path now for about 5 years of preparation to get you ready for this moment that we find ourselves in right now. And honestly, what I'm getting ready to start doing now is to prepare you for what's coming in 2030. But some of you still got to play catch up from what I said back in 2020 so that you'll be ready for 2026. See, I'm speaking and playing years ahead of where we are right now. Which is why a lot of people can't relate to some of the things that I say, because they think I'm losing my mind and I'm crazy. But everything that I said back in 2020, we're living in right now. Everything. Go back and listen to it. A lot of those videos are still up, especially on YouTube. Go back and listen to it. End of 2019, the beginning of 2020, and 2021, 22, 23, 24. We are living in that reality right now. And now I'm starting to tell you about what's getting ready to take place in 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, and 35. And get you prepared, walk you through the process of preparing for what's going to unfold then. I am the voice for those of you who refuse to do the work to position yourself to hear for yourself. Because it's not like you can't. Not like, you could put me out of a job, and anybody like me out of a job as far as, operating and sharing things prophetically, apostolically with you, because you'll already know. Because you're aligned, you're in tune, you can hear. I'm not threatened by that. I encourage that. I would love that. Okay. Man, I've been on an hour and a half. I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop. I said, ammo. That country part of me. I'm going to stop. I'm going to. Okay? And I started out in this session saying about the power surge that you should have felt today. You realize that that's because today is January the 11th, 2026. 1-1-1-10. Or 1111. See, some of you didn't even realize that. You're experiencing a new order for your life, signified by the energy that was available today, pushing you, driving you because of that energy. Are you hearing what I'm saying? 1-1-1-10. January 1st month, 11th day, 1-1-1-1-1 in a 10-year, 2 + 0 + 2 + 6. 10, which is another 1-0. Male and female, masculine, feminine, mind and womb. Oh! Are y'all hearing what I'm saying? That's why you were feeling so productive. And will throughout this year. That's why it's so important for you to take advantage of the heave. From January to the end of June. Take every opportunity that you have to get to heave. To give the teruma. And to make sure that you do your first fruit in every area, across the board. We ain't just talking about money. Money is included, but it is not exclusive. That you are doing your first fruit, the first part of your day, the first part of your prayer life, the first part of your study, the first part of your business, the first part of everything. That you're offering it up. That you're honoring it. That you're sanctifying it, because its sacredness sanctifies the rest. How you start the year is going to determine what the rest of the year looks like. And some of you are doing wonderful, and others of you not so much. And then some of you just have been blowing it. Just 11 days in, and you're already making really like off-kilter, misaligned decisions. And then you're going to be later on looking back wondering why my year so bad and why it's so chaotic. Oh, the devil on my track. Ain't no devil on your track. You the devil that's on your track. Because you setting the stage. You are sowing the seeds of causality that's going to bring about the effect. Cause and effect. Sowing and reaping. Seed, time, harvest. So now that we're in this heave season, from January to the end of June, you need to take every opportunity to heave, to uplift. That's what the word heave literally means, to lift upward, toss upward, to raise above. So that what is left now falls and lays out strategically, covering the soil. Shererobosa. Woo! Kesamandi andiosi. Lele moseta. Kekelele brele la mosha. Are y'all hearing what I'm saying to you? Okay. Hour and 30 minutes. Let me stop. Because I feel myself getting ready to step into a whole nother gear. And man, I'll talk for another 2 hours. I feel the prophetic trying to emerge and just break through. And I know it's late. So I'm not going to stay on. Okay? But focus, enlightenment and alignment. Do your heave, do your first fruit and your heave offerings all throughout the year, in every area and facet of your life. Don't neglect doing it with your money, but don't leave out the rest either. What are you doing with the first part of your day? What have you done with the first part of this month? What do you do with your first fruit? Have you heaved any of it? Have you offered any of it up? Are you hearing me? It's important. Okay? It's important. In this universal 10-year, number one, it represents will and identity. Man, don't let me get into that. Identity, leadership, intuition. While the 0 is representative of infinity and creation. It's the womb. Ooh. The 1 and the 0 are the phallus and the womb. The two tools of procreation. Creating a new you, creating a new life, creating new systems, creating new structures, creating new ideologies, understanding, new relationships, new connections, new businesses. Everything new. Man, okay. Woo! Okay. I'm going to stop. It's the end of one old cycle. 9 closed out one cycle. 10 began the new cycle. And every cycle runs in that framework from 1 to 10. From 1 to 10. 1 is the spark and the spur and the seed. 2 through 8 is the time of development. 9 is the closure after the harvest. And 10 starts the new process again. Are you hearing me? Seed, time, harvest, seed, time, harvest. 1, 2, 3. Seed, time, harvest. Beginning, middle, and end. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Okay. I've said 3 times now. I'm done. Because I feel myself getting stirred to go further, to go deeper. And if I do, we'll be here for a while. All right. So, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. You know what? I want you to see tonight in this time of heat, and I want you to use those numbers. 1, 1, 1, 10. 1, 1, 1, 10. 1 January, 1, 1, 11th, 10, 2026, a 10 year. So make your seed $111.10. That'll be your seed tonight. $111.10. For those of you who will. If you don't, that's fine. That's you. None of this is mandatory. It is of your choosing. Okay? It is of your choosing. But for those of you who receive that word, receive the prophetic, and you understand the significance of the day in this moment, sow your seed of $111.10. $111.10. $111.10. You can use any of the means that you see on the screen right now to sow. $111.10. Woo! I'm getting ready to sow that myself right now. Yes, Lord. Y'all do realize that Emerge finances are separate from mine. It ain't like it always just coming to me. No, Emerge has its own finances. $111.10. All right. Again, thank you for tuning in. I love you guys. I appreciate you. If you have any questions, I'm always open. Send me a text or email. Hit me on the inbox. However you choose. I'm always available. Okay? And I will see you guys tomorrow morning for more. Listen, y'all need to start coming to morning meditation in the morning. 6 a.m. Usually it's just 2 or 3 of us there. But man, I'm telling you, it's powerful and it's intense. There's always a release prophetically. There's always a good mapping that's taking place. Meditation, affirmation, and prayer. Meet us at 6 a.m. If you're not a part of the Emerge family, then go on over to our Patreon. Click that link that you see already on the screen. I mean, not on the screen, but in the description. Click that link. Come over to the Patreon. Even if you're not a paid partner, there's a free part of the Patreon partnership. So you can become a partner for free. And we have a lot of information that's offered to the free partners. Okay, but partner with us and join us in the morning for meditation, prayer, and prophecy. Every morning, Monday through Friday at 6 a.m. All right? I'll see you guys in the morning. I love you. Have an absolutely wonderful and stupendous night.
Some of you are even afraid to dream, afraid to imagine. But I'm here to tell you that you are an infinite, limitless, boundless being. Are you willing to do what is necessary to have what you desire?
You've been listening to Apostle Isaac Miles, the disruptive innovator, a mentor, an author, a motivational speaker, an entrepreneur, and the founder and spiritual director at emergelec Life Enrichment Center. Please take a minute to subscribe, like, and share this page. If you'd like to become a partner, you can do so by emailing us at emerge.lifecenter@gmail.com. Again, that's emerge.lifecenter@gmail.com. Once again, thank you for watching.